So overtones are one of those things that we all know we should practice. But the reality is they're kind of hard, they're a bit boring, they annoy everybody who lives in the house with you. So the end result is most of us tend to not practice them as much as we should. And that's a big mistake because you know what, overtones are the most important exercise you can do to improve your tone quality. Plus also they are an essential gateway skill if you want to go on and develop the altissimo, learn how to play all those extra cool things up on the top register of your saxophone. So in this lesson today, I'm going to show you 3 exercises that you can do that'll actually make playing overtones, I think, easier and more fun. And it's actually a great place to get started with overtones. So we've got quite a lot to talk about today. Before we get started with the lesson though, don't forget if you're new here, click the subscribe button and that bell notification thing so you'll find out about new lessons because I'm putting out lessons all the time and there's a ton of stuff here that I know will really help you. Okay, let's get started. So Nigel here from Sax School. I'm so glad that you're joining me for this lesson today because overtones are one of those topics that most of us try to avoid, but hopefully we'll get around that today and we're going to have a bit more fun with it. It's a subject that comes up all the time inside Sax School with my students. We've got thousands and thousands of students, and over the last 7 years or so, it's just a conversation that's never ending about overtones because we all know how important it is. And I tell you the other interesting thing is that inside Sax School we run regular masterclasses with real world-class players. We bring them in and they run sessions for our members. And you know, the common theme amongst all of these people that have come in, whether it's Leo P or Grace Kelly or someone like Dave Koz or talking to Candy Dolfer or Tom Politzer from Tower of Power, all of these people say the same thing. Overtones are the things that they work on. Why? Because they are that important. So it really is something that you need to work into your daily practice routine. And when you do it that way, then it becomes something that's, you know, it's manageable and it's achievable and you are going to start making some progress on it. Now there's a worksheet for this lesson. You can get it in the link up above or in the description down below. Make sure you do grab that, print it out, stick it on your music stand because then you'll be able to use these exercises every single time that you pull your saxophone out, which hopefully is every day. Okay, let's dig into exercise number 1. Now I'm going to demonstrate these on the alto sax, but you could use these exercises on the tenor or the soprano or the baritone, any saxophone at all, it will work. It's the same principle. Okay, exercise number 1 is a great little sort of gateway to overtones, and this may even be something that you've done yourself before. What we're going to do is play a note in the middle range without the octave key and see if we can get it to sound clear and then drop down the octave. We're going to start with the F. Okay, so the first note we want to sound is F with the octave key on. It sounds like this on the alto sax. Now, what we want to try and do is to play that F without using our octave key. So I'm going to take the octave key off and play it again. Now, before I do that though, I want to think about that sound and I want to be able to sing it. I'm a rubbish singer, but going through that process helps you to internalize it. So this is the pitch. Na. So that's where I want to be. I'm going to take my octave key off and see if I can get that sound. So it still sounds pretty good and it's in tune too. Now if you're doing that and you're getting a sound like this, then there's something going wrong in here and you're going to need to change the shape internally. It's very hard to describe to you how you change your throat because we can't see inside. So the best way to do it is to start with the octave key on and then take the octave key off, but keep thinking about that pitch. And when you get to that note and it's working, think about how this is feeling and memorize that feeling. That's the most important thing. Okay? So if you're struggling with it, start with the octave key on, then take it off. Okay, so the next step is we're going to hit that note without the octave key and then we're going to drop down to low F. So nothing's going to move, the only thing that's going to change is in here. I'll do it again. So I can feel I'm relaxing the bottom of my, or the back of my tongue, and that's helping the pitch to go down. The more we do this, the clearer we'll get the movement. So let's try the same process now on an E and dropping down the octave. So I'll play it first and then sing it. No. So here we go, no octave key. So you can do this all the way down, D sharp, D, probably that's as far as you need to go with it. So that's the first exercise. Now a couple of pointers. First of all, it works best if you start with your air. An air start as opposed to a tar, because that really forces you to get your throat right without the help of your tongue on the note. It is easy with the tongue, but try starting with the air. The second thing is, it's even harder if you gliss between the two or slur between the two, so don't stop your air. I know I did on one of those notes, but it's best to not. And the third thing is, I really want you to focus on the quality of your sound. If you wanted to, you could have your tuner in front of you as well, so that you're watching your intonation as you move between those notes. Now remember, all these exercises work the same on alto or tenor or soprano or bari sax or sopranino, any instrument at all, okay? Let's move on to exercise number 2. Now, this time in exercise number 2, we're going to start to look at the actual overtone series. So the overtone series, you can think of it like a stack of notes. So when you hear one note, actually it's just one part of a whole series of notes. That's our overtone series, and it's the same for every instrument. And when we actually play the altissimo notes, what we're doing is focusing in on one of this overtone series. So that's why the overtones are so important for us to practice, because we need to develop the skill of moving between the different notes in the overtone stack or the overtone series, okay? So in this exercise, what we're going to do is move between the different overtone notes. So the first note we're going to start on is low B flat, and the first overtone in the series from low B flat is middle B flat. So we're going to play middle B flat, and then we're going to move to moving our fingers onto low B flat. So that's all the keys down and the bottom one down here. And then we're going to try and keep the same pitch. So this is the first pitch we want. But we want to get that sound with our low B flat fingering down. So I'm going to start by listening to that pitch and then trying to sing it. La. Now I'm going to play that note, and then I'm going to move my fingers onto low B flat and try and keep the pitch constant. Here we go. Wish me luck. So that was a bit dodgy. I've been doing this for years and I can still manage to screw it up. I'll try it again. So what happened the second time that made it work better? Well, I was thinking more about the pitch. I was also focusing on the shape of my throat. And I was also trying to keep the overtone note when I got to the B flat with the low B flat fingering. I tried to keep it nice and round and think about the consistency of it. So you might want to go really slowly when you start doing this exercise. We're going to start on the B flat to overtone B flat. Try it one more time. So did you hear when I got to the overtone B flat, then I started to refine it and get rid of all those extra harsh sounds in there until I got a nice smooth sound. And what we're aiming for is the same quality of sound that you might have when you're doing a long tone exercise. So then we can do the same process but on an F. So I'll play the note, sing it, and then I'll go from that note to fingering low B flat but getting the F. La. And then octave B flat. Na. So it might take you a couple of goes till you get it really accurate. And look, even I don't get it perfect every time. So it's one of those things that will get better the more you practice it. Now on this sheet, I've written that out with a fourth step as well, which is kind of like an advanced level. If you're feeling comfy with the B flat, the octave F, and the octave B flat, the next overtone in the series is octave D, palm key D. So let's try that one. So with all of these, it's best to go over the transition between the two notes a few times until you get it to sound really smooth. And then you can apply that same pattern, but on the low B natural and on the low C. So we've got B, F sharp, B, and D sharp. And on the C, we've got C, E, C, G, octave C, and high E. So are you already practicing overtones? Let me know in a comment down below if you've tried it before and what your favorite exercise is. I would love to know. Okay, so I've got a third exercise for you, and I quite like this one actually, and this is going to help to develop the flexibility moving between the notes. So what we're going to do now is, rather than going between a normal note and an overtone note, we're just going to use overtone notes, and we're going to try and make a little melodic line with it. So the first one, we're going to start with the fundamental notes. That's the note that we're got down with our fingers, but not the note that we're actually sounding, right? The fundamental notes. We're going to B flats, then on to B natural, so move my little finger up to here, and then C, then back down to B natural, and then back down to B flat. Okay, so if we were just playing normal notes, it'd be this. I'm having a lockdown low B and B flat at the moment. Okay, so what we're going to play though, the overtones we're going to use are the first overtones in the series. So we're going to be doing the middle B flat, B natural, C, back to B, and back to B flat. So that's what we want to sound. La, 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 la. So let's see if we can get those pitches out, but using the overtone fingerings. So it would look and sound like this. So again, we want to approach this like a long tone exercise where we're thinking about the quality of the sound, trying to get rid of any little extra bits in there like I was trying to there, but also concentrating on how your throat feels. So you want to remember what that feels like, because that's what we want to draw on every time we come back to overtones. The next level up would be using the second overtone, so it'd be F, F sharp, G, F sharp and F. But using our overtone fingerings. And when you're ready, you can also do it on the octave B flat. So B flat, B natural, C, B and B flat. Okay, I don't get it perfect every time either, and I think that's a good takeaway from this, because everyone finds this difficult, but the more that we do it, the better we get at it. So what's the next steps? Well, make sure you go and grab the worksheet for this lesson. Do download it, print it out, it's free. I just want you to get this and use this exercise daily, because if you do it every single time that you're practicing, then you're going to see a massive improvement with your sound. I guarantee it. In fact, when you do get that massive improvement, I want you to come back here and leave me a comment and let me know. I know it's going to happen, so I can't wait to hear your comments actually. That tells me that you have been practicing your overtones. Also, don't forget to check out the other lessons on my channel, because I've got some other lessons on here about altissimo notes to get you started with, and also tons of other stuff about techniques for improvising and developing your skill with your fingers, or developing your playing skills, or learning some great tunes. And if you're really ready to take things just to that extra level, then come and join me over at Sax School. We've got thousands of students using hundreds and hundreds of lessons. And in fact, there's pretty much everything you could want in there, from absolute beginner stuff right through to advanced things. We've got players who are using Sax School and are gigging regularly and recording albums and doing all sorts of stuff. So I'd love to see you over inside Sax School and join you, welcome you into our family. So that's over at mcgillmusic.com. But whatever you do, keep practicing hard, and I'll catch you next time.